you're watching Market Fatafat right here on ET Now, your daily dose of everything that's happening in the markets in terms of movers and shakers. For now, I think the big mover and shaker is the Indian rupee. 68.60 is where we are perched at. It's a half a rupee of an appreciation witnessed in just one day versus the US dollar. It's something that certainly a lot of, I think, equity market participants as well seem to be cheering. For now, of course, the equity markets have come off quite a bit from the day's high, almost about 53 odd points gone from the day's high. In fact, more than that, almost 60 points gone from the day's high, while the small cap index is just about trying to recuperate from the low point and is almost flat as we speak. But let's start off the show with the countdown of the big movers and shakers. Today we have with us Soumya Sharma, Siddharth Vamre, Kunal Bothra, and joining in on the technicals to give in his perspective is Sameer Chauhan of Angel Broking. Good morning to all of you. Thanks so much for joining in. And the very first stock we want to flag off is the big newsmaker, and we are certainly going to be having some very exciting news ahead for Mindtree, given that it's quite a battle now between the founders and L&T that essentially wants VG Siddhartha's entire 21% stake in the company. Subsequently, it also wants to launch an open offer to increase the stake to around 30%. And that's something that's caused the management to huddle into the strategy room. And they are going to be holding a board meeting on the 20th of March to consider a buyback so as to secure their stake in the company to avoid a hostile takeover. In fact, even one of the co-founders has resigned from a government post in Odisha to come back and salvage the tree, as he calls it in one of his tweets. So Mindtree certainly will be the cynosure of all eyes going forward. Kunal, let's talk about Equitas. What is it that you're observing? Because we have seen a lot of momentum in this stock price of late, and as we speak, the stock has surged quite a bit.
Absolutely, Mubina. So 3% up for the day, and I think last week also we saw, last 2 weeks in fact we've seen the stock rising up from levels of 118 to 134, 135, where it closed previous week. But nevertheless, I think the momentum is very strong. This is the third straight week of strong price gain for Equitas, and in that last 3 weeks of price up move, it's crossed the 200-day moving average as well. So I think Equitas should rally even from current levels. 148 to 150 should take the stock to a very close to a strong resistance at that 150 mark. So I think another 6-7% upside could be possible on Equitas from current levels, and stop loss could be kept at 133 for a fresh trade.
All right, so that's Equitas near the day's high as we speak. Sameer, Realty continues to rally, and how Prestige Estates, as we speak, it's more than a 13% uptick witnessed here.
Yes, Movina, the entire space has been buzzing since last many days, and today we are seeing a good bump up in this counter. With this, stock has already confirmed its price and volume breakout from its recent hurdles. So 200-day moving average, it has already surpassed this important moving average after nearly 10 months. So that's a positive sign. If you look at the overall activity on volume front, it certainly bodes well for the stock. So from here on, we expect this rally to continue immediately. 265, 270, these are the levels to watch out for. But we won't be surprised to see this rally getting extended toward 290 as well.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on a Prestige Estate. Moving on to the next stock, Soumya. Unlike Realty, Auto is taking quite a knock today, and Maruti leading the losses.
Well, yes, Maruti has cut production by a quarter on slow demand in Indian markets. Well, apart from this, Antique in the brokerage note today said that inventory levels remain high despite aggressive discounting schemes. And in fact, the pain is more prominent in the Nexa channel due to higher inventory compared to Arena. Also, the dealer profitability has taken a hit with a growing disenchantment in the newer Nexa dealers. They're maintaining a sell stance on the stock with a target price of 5,305 rupees per share.
All right, so that's Maruti for you, Antique having a sell stance on this one. Let's talk about the next stock, and that's BEML. Siddharth, once again today we're seeing quite a bit of action in this one.
Well, yeah, despite intraday correction in market, this stock is unperturbed, and we are seeing that it's holding on to its gains. Mubina, we spoke about this name last week also in Fatafat segment, that how we are seeing formation of long position. Today again the price volume breakout continues. We are seeing fresh formation of long positions. In fact, BEML percentage wise is the highest open interest gainer in F&O segment, clearly indicating that there is belief that stock would continue to move higher, and hence formation of long positions.
Well, interestingly, today defense companies in general, I think with the exception of BEL, even HAL today is rallying very smartly, 3% of an uptick. Kunal, Srei Infra, buzz is that there may be an announcement today with respect to LVB. Srei as well may be in the fray. But yes, on the technicals, what are you observing?
Absolutely, Mubina, and I believe that Srei Infra is showing signs of a very strong trend in the making, because in the last 4 weeks, 5 weeks, we've seen a decent recovery shaping up for the stock. I think from those sub 23 levels, it's rallied till 30-31 levels over the last couple of weeks. But what's more interesting is the kind of breakout which you've seen on the indicators for Srei Infra, and I'm talking about the weekly and the monthly indicators for the stock. And generally, when you see indicators leading a breakout, it results into a very strong trend for the stock price. And similar could be a case for Srei Infra. Positionally, I believe the stock should be headed towards 35 plus levels. So I think an upside of almost 15 to 20% could be possible over the next 1 to 2 months.
Okay, near the day's high for Srei Infra as we speak, and like Ajay Sharma broke in his exclusive story earlier, it may be leading the race for the stake in Lakshmi Vilas Bank, so that'll be interesting to watch. Okay, IOC, meantime, how can we not flag off the OMCs given the fact that all of them are buzzing away today in trade? The stronger rupee is one important factor or trigger for the OMC names. Remember, the rupee has, like I said, strengthened past 69. In fact, at 68.60 is where it is sitting. So that certainly does bode well for OMCs. But additionally, we also have Morgan Stanley that's given out quite an optimistic brokerage recommendation. IOC and BPCL, according to them, are some of the preferred names in OMCs. Samit, let's talk about Vedanta. The Nifty is near a multi-month high, but Vedanta really hasn't participated in this rally.
Yes, this has been a laggard of late, and we have been closely tracking this counter. If you look at the monthly candle, previous monthly candle, it can be termed as a hammer pattern, and it has appeared, around at 61.8% of the larger up move. So we are a bit, yes, the momentum is clearly lacking for this counter. 180, 182 seems to be a very strong resistance. So we are not advising this stock to momentum traders, rather those who are willing to keep this stock for at least 2 to 3 months, then one should buy into such decline. We expect 170 to 165 now act as a very strong support zone.
Okay, so that's Vedanta, 1.5% lower. Soumya, some updates coming in the Bandhan Groher deal?
Well, yes, Bandhan has received RBI nod for merger with Gruhu. Well, apart from this, HDFC, which was the majority shareholder in Gruhu Finance, has would be limited to a 9.9% stake with post this merger, whereas they had proposed a 14.9% stake after the merger. So here comes in a little update on the Bandhan Gruhu merger.
All right. Bandhan Bank, as we speak, is down by 2.7%. Siddharth, flagged up for IOC. What about the uptick witnessed in BPCL? In fact, I do remember you saying that this one seems to be the most poised to really outperform the other two OMCs.
Well, yes, and what's happening, Mubina, that it's not just BPCL, but most of the names that we discussed, that the rupee factor is working. Otherwise, crude has not gone anywhere. And we are seeing of late that rupee appreciating from 74 odd levels to where it is right now, and slow steady up move in most of the OMCs haven't seen. Why BPCL in particular? Because in terms of open interest addition, it's high. It is challenging its key resistance of 400, and now it's almost 1% above that level, and that's the reason we are talking about this stock.
Okay, so that's BPCL, 2.3% higher. We'll do one thing, we'll take a very short break right here, but the countdown will continue once we return. Do stay tuned, this is Market Fatafat. Welcome back, you're watching Market Fatafat on ET Now. Let's continue with the countdown then, and Kunal, why are you flagging off NTPC?
So this has been one of the few stocks which has seen a steady OI built up over the last couple of days and weeks. But more importantly, I think there's a steady trend which is in the shaping for NTPC. Now, divide what you've seen maybe earlier, that the stock goes into a short-term rally, then corrects and makes a new low. This time the rally is based on a couple of key factors. There was an RSI divergence, a bullish divergence setup, and now in the process of this last 3 weeks of rally, the stock has also crossed its 200 moving average on the back of some increasingly high volume. So I believe NTPC could continue to ride higher from current levels. 170 could be the next target for the stock price, and stoppers could be kept at 153.
At the day's high, or just about near the day's high actually for NTPC. Samit, Bombay Dying, meantime, big mover today in trade.
Yes, after September, October, massive correction, the stock went into a consolidation mode. It appears that it has formed a strong base around its support levels of 100, 120, and since last few days, the stock is clearly buzzing. It has already given it a breakout from its previous levels of 120, and today also we are seeing good traction in this counter. And the way the charts are shaped up, it appears that the stock is likely to continue its march towards 200-day moving average, which is in the zone of 165, 170. So those who are bodied at lower level, they should stay put. One can now trail the stop loss somewhere around 133.
That's a strategy Samit is recommending on Bombay Dying. Grasim Limited, meantime, today is a big loser. This after the Income Tax Department has actually slapped a hefty tax demand notice on the company, asking it to pay a little over 5,800 crore rupees on account of the dividend distribution tax on AB Capital shares that Grasim received after the demerger of AB Capital from AB Nuvo. Grasim did say that in a statement to the exchanges that the order was not tenable in law and the company was taking the necessary action against the order, but for now the stock price is under a bit of pressure post that news. Samit, banking stocks continue to gain today in trade. Your view on IOB?
Generally, we avoid this counter considering its overall disappointing performance over the past few years. Recently, we saw some traction in this counter along with its peer counter, but again, the stock has come off from its recent highs. So, the stock is likely to consolidate, wherein on the higher side, 16 is the level to watch out for.
IOB is just about slightly higher, but Samit is saying avoid at this point. Soumya, of course, the big newsmaker is also Lupin. The US FDA action continues.
Yes, a little setback in for Lupin as US FDA has classified the Somerset facility as official action indicated and is subject to regulatory action. Well, talking about this recent update, CLSA has said that 2 plants are subject to US FDA regulatory action this week, and Lupin faces significant regulatory challenges. They say that the Somerset facility accounted for over 5 to 7% of total sales and 25% of ANDAs, and hence the brokerage firm is retaining a sell rating with a revised target price of 730 per share.
Okay, so it's a clear-cut sell on Lupin. The stock is well tanking 4%. Siddharth, on the other hand, banking names, like I said, gaining. Axis Bank is one of them.
Axis Bank is only private sector bank which is up by more than 1% moving. Now, if you look at HDFC, ICICI, they are flat to slight red. Kotak Bank is doing okay, 0.6% up. Even other private sector banks are not doing that great. And we have seen intraday correction, but it's only Axis Bank which is holding on to its gains. Yes, marginal decline on intraday charts, and this is the only large cap stock in private sector banking space which even in today's trading session, when you're seeing intraday correction, adding long position. So that singles it out and says that there is a good amount of strength even in a market which is not looking that great.
Okay, that's Axis Bank, 1.3% higher. Kunal, why is L&T Finance on your radar?
So many of the similar stocks, financial services stocks, have been doing pretty well. And in the finance, look at the rally in the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks from 120 or sub 120 levels. The stock is now at just about in crossing distance of this 150 mark. We've seen a very strong and a steady uptrend building up. The stock has broken the 200 moving average as well, which I believe is a key a parameter to watch, at least in the market like this. And if the stock holds on to this 200 moving average on closing basis, then I believe that the trend should continue for L&T Finance, and the stock could rally to almost 160, 165 levels as well.
Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have on this edition of Market Fatafat. Thanks to all of you for joining, and Samit, to you as well for sharing your technical recommendations with our viewers. We'll wrap it up. Coming up next is Markets at Noon.